The death of the Titan, the submersible that crashed when it was carrying 5 people to the bottom of the Atlantic, caused a heartfelt tribute from the descendants of British magnate Hamish Harding, who died in the episode. Sons Rory and Giles expressed their sentiments in a statement from their father-owned agency, Action Aviation, commemorating their beloved father as the ultimate role model. However, one specialist has raised concerns that OceanGate flouted submersible guidelines to offer bold tours for tourists to see the Titanic wreck. Despite this, the mourning sons of Hamish Harding remain steadfast in their admiration for the intrepid explorer. The remains of the submersible Titan, near the Titanic in the Atlantic, sadly claimed the life of the magnate. Along with 4 others, the 58-year-old man was the victim of the implosion that occurred a week ago. Unfortunately, this Saturday night, there was concern that his remains would not be found. On behalf of their father's company, Action Aviation, Rory and Giles delivered a heartfelt message. As one of them put it, his father had an admirable work ethic and determination, but what stood out to them the most was his unwavering devotion to being a father. During this difficult time, the family of Hamish Harding was supported by the Coast Guard, which spoke with crew members of the Polar Prince, the ship that carried the Titan, to the Titanic's sinking site. Without a doubt, his father left an indelible mark on them, giving them valuable lessons that will remain with them forever. Although he is no longer with them, he will always have a special place in their hearts. Giles also shared his thoughts, emphasizing how much his father meant to him. He did nothing to be half-hearted and always aimed to be the best man he could be. All who had the pleasure of knowing him will mourn the loss of him, not just my family and I, Giles adds. Shahzada, Suleiman Dawood and Harding, as well as OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush and French diver Paul-Henri Nargeolet were unfortunately kidnapped by the ruthless marine forces that were demonstrated at the time of the tragedy. U.S. Coast Guard Rear Admiral John Mauger stated that his immersion resulted in a loud implosion, making the possibility of his remains being found unlikely. In response, both the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and U.S. investigative teams have launched investigations. Canadian authorities are considering the possibility of what they called a bad move by the mothership's crew. After returning to St. John's, Newfoundland, and after finishing the search operations, the mothership, that is, the Polar Prince, which was the Titan support ship, was boarded by several researchers accompanied by the relatives of the victims this Saturday. Last Sunday, the submersible Titan lost contact with the Polar Prince for an hour and 45 minutes after starting the descent. Kathy Fox, a member of Canada's Transportation Safety Board, acknowledged that there were family members on board the ship. Without a doubt, the circumstances of the situation have been difficult, and it is important to recognize that this will have an even greater impact on those who have lost loved ones. The 44 crew members of an Argentine submarine called the Era San Juan met instant death, a report published Saturday night confirms, reminding many of a disaster that befell a real submarine. Meanwhile, the tail of the Titan submersible was discovered on the seabed at a depth of about 12,500 feet, also within feet of the Titanic, which sank in 1912.